So at this point, we've removed our pieces from our dress form, and now we're going to do 1 or 2 more alterations before we begin to break it out on our muslin and begin that marking and cutting process. So firstly, I just wanted to show you guys that I made that mark there to indicate that I actually wanted that sleeve to be higher than it was. So here's the mark. And I noticed that it's just above the dart area. So it looks like we're not gonna need this dart area. So we're just gonna go in, and what I did was I just created a straight line from that point here, straight across. Even though it cut off our dart a little bit, it's fine because we actually don't need that dart, which kind of just creates a form in the arm and makes it a little bit more close fitted. I don't need that, so I'm just gonna go in, add my 1/2 inch seam allowance because I am gonna need that seam allowance even though I'm not going to keep the excess. So from the original line I created with that, removing the dart, straight across, and if you're looking for an exact measurement, it looks like it's, if you go to the back of the pattern, as you can see, this indicates the back. 2 slashes or 2 markings indicate the back. 1 indicates the front. So I'm just gonna go to the back, right at the top of the armhole, and I'm gonna measure down. And it comes to about 8 inches. So once I have that, you can do a mark here and then come to this side, do a mark here, just so that you have a marking. Then you just go in and you create a line straight across. Once you have that line going straight across, again, you're just gonna add the seam allowance. So I go to the end of that line. Let me just make sure it's so. I go to the 1 inch point of my ruler. I go to the 1/2 inch point, and I just lay it right on top. That's why these grid rulers are so useful, because you couldn't really do that with a regular ruler. And then I just go in and I follow that line using the transparentness of my ruler just to continue that line. Okay, so once I have that cutting line in my 1/2 inch seam allowance, you go in and you cut off the excess. Trying to recreate that dart area because we don't need it. That was only going to be if it extended past the elbow, and that would be the elbow dart, and that would just be to create a more form-fitting sleeve. And because we're not even using that portion of the sleeve, we can just go ahead and cut that off and add that excess 1/2 inch seam allowance. So this is it. This is going to be the sleeve that we're going to recreate onto our actual muslin. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Videos are uploaded weekly covering dressmaking, fashion, lectures, and more.